Hello, guys, and thank you for taking the time today.
Hello.
Hello.
It is great to finally be able to talk to you now that the strike is over. What usually happens when I see one of your characters, Julia, is that it immediately pulls me closer to it. But in this case, I felt like I wanted to take some distance from her, you know? For you as an actress, what was the most challenging thing giving life to a character like Amanda?
I think from the beginning, Sam and I both had talked about and agreed that just to try to temper her beliefs and her feelings in such a way that she wasn't immediately and totally off-putting, that you could stay with her and kind of try to hear her out as the movie went along in some way, and not just think like, oh, I've got her figured out, she's this person. I'm able to kind of play so many different versions of who she really is, that it was just a great opportunity.
Sam, what made you fall in love with this book that you decided to make it into a movie?
I mean, you know, there's a lot of things about the book that's great. I would say that for me, the characters were so beautifully drawn and really unique of sort of today. I think all these people could only exist sort of in the modern day context. And one of the things that I really loved about it was I'm a huge fan of the disaster genre. And typically, you know, in disaster films, you know, they really kind of prioritize the disaster. That becomes like front and center of the story. But in this book, it felt like Rimaan sort of inverted that process and made the characters front and center and pushed the disaster elements off in the distance. And for me, that's instantly more relatable and more terrifying. So I would say that that was what really made me excited to think about this as a film.
Besides you, Julia, this movie has a fantastic cast. Mahershala Ali, Myha'la, Kevin Bacon. But how was working with Ethan Hawke? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time we see you guys together in a movie, right?
Yeah, it's the first time we ever worked together. And honestly, when Sam and I were first talking about the different characters and who to cast, we both thought Ethan for the part of Clay. Because he knows how to navigate that space that's a little bit innocent and a little laid back and a little, Ethan said so many things today that are in my head, but, and I just think he's a great counterpoint to the way he portrays Clay. It's a great counterpoint to Amanda, and we felt so lucky that it worked out where he was in the movie, and I think he does such a beautiful job because without a voice of a character like Clay, the rest of our voices can't really exist in the way that they do in this story.
This movie takes me back to the Alfred Hitchcock movies or movies like Jaws, when you know something's underwater but you cannot see it.
Yeah.
Was that what you wanted us to feel making this movie?
Yeah.
That's what Sam wants everyone to feel all the time.
Yeah, you know, those movies that you've cited, and weirdly Jaws, I think it may have been by happenstance because I know that Spielberg had a tough time with the shark puppet, and so that kind of became a happy accident, right? Because then he had to kind of use the suspense of not seeing the shark. But I honestly think that the genius about that movie and the genius about a lot of the Hitchcock films is the same thing that I was talking about before, where it's really about the people and their reactions and being with them and sort of having the audience invest in them rather than being thrown in the center of the action, where it could kind of feel more of like a roller coaster ride and like and unrealistic. Here you're really kind of planted into the eyes of these characters, and when you're involving the audience in that way, it kind of emotionally engages them, and I think in a much more visceral way.
Something that I think is very cool in this movie is the fact that Friends, the series, is a huge part of the story. And years ago, you were Susie on Friends.
I was on the Super Bowl episode, and I, as keeps coming up today for some reason, am a big football head. So for me, it was so exciting to be on the Super Bowl episode. And I love that Sam created this.
Was this planned in any way?
Oh no, Friends was very much planned. That was in the script, and that's something that was the whole heartbeat of the film, I should say, because like I think Rose's journey, which is probably the most innocent journey in this whole film, is based on this sort of sweet little innocent relationship she has with these fictional characters.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.